One of the many recognizable figures in modern evangelism, Franklin Graham, has carried forward the legacy of his legendary father, Billy Graham. For years, he's traveled the globe, combining a message of faith with tireless humanitarian work. Yet recently, Franklin made an announcement that shocked his followers and the broader evangelical community. He's stepping back from the very mission he spent his life building. This decision has been deeply personal, rooted in family pressures, personal challenges, and a refined vision. Join us as we explore the heartfelt reasons behind Franklin Graham's decision to say goodbye and how it might reshape the future of his powerful legacy. A legacy of faith and family pressure. Franklin Graham's decision to step back from his role did not come without immense contemplation. Growing up as the son of Billy Graham, one of the most influential evangelists in modern history, Franklin inherited a legacy that held both opportunities and challenges. While the Graham name opened doors, it also brought expectations and pressure. From a young age, Franklin witnessed his father's dedication to ministry, as Billy Graham's crusades drew millions and his sermons touched hearts worldwide. However, emulating such a towering figure placed an immense weight on Franklin as he navigated how to make his mark without overshadowing his father's legacy. As he grew older, Franklin came to terms with the responsibility and influence of his family's reputation. Through years of personal reflection and spiritual growth, he began to recognize that stepping back could be as impactful as moving forward, allowing him to honor his father's mission while preserving his individuality. The journey of acceptance, coupled with years of service, eventually guided Franklin to make the tough decision to pass the torch and encourage the next generation to continue the family legacy in their way. Shaped by faith and rebellion. Franklin Graham's youth was a mixture of profound influence and deep-seated rebellion. Growing up as the son of Billy Graham, Franklin felt the unrelenting presence on his family's religious expectations. Yet the weight of living under the watchful eye of the faith community often sparked a desire in Franklin to break free and carve his path. As a teenager, Franklin resisted the life of discipline and devotion that his father embodied, often questioning his purpose and pushing boundaries. This period of rebellion included clashes with his parents and attempts to test the limits of authority as he sought independence in ways that were not typical of a Graham. Despite these struggles, this era became a cornerstone of his identity, forcing him to face difficult questions about faith, purpose, and family legacy. Ultimately, his rebellion led to a deeper understanding of what living out his beliefs authentically meant, laying the groundwork for the next transformative journey. This phase of questioning and exploration helped Franklin find his unique voice within his family's legacy. The turning point in Jerusalem. Franklin's life turned pivotal at 22 during a visit to Jerusalem. Immersed in the spiritual landscape of the Holy City, Franklin had a moment of self-realization that forever changed his relationship with faith. Surrounded by the historical and sacred sites that marked the foundation of Christianity, Franklin felt a deep connection to the teachings he'd grown up hearing, yet never fully embraced. This encounter with his faith, in the land where his beliefs were born, opened his heart to a sense of purpose beyond family obligations. Franklin came face to face with his spirituality in Jerusalem, sparking a profound clarity. This transformative experience led him to accept the faith he had resisted, rekindling his interest in the ministry. Returning home with a renewed devotion, Franklin began exploring ways to honor his faith while staying true to his unique identity. The journey in Jerusalem marked a spiritual rebirth for Franklin, empowering him to redefine his life's dedication and commit to a calling that would shape his future in ways he had never imagined. A youth marked by rebellion and expulsion. Franklin Graham's teenage years were a turbulent time, characterized by a rebellious streak that often put him at odds with authority figures. Growing up with an evangelical icon as a father, Franklin faced the challenge of balancing his identity with the high standards expected of a Graham. His struggle for independence led to frequent conflicts, and his disregard for school rules culminated in his expulsion from a boarding school. This clash with authority figures was part of his broader desire to defy the expectations that came with his family name, seeking an identity separate from his father's legacy. These formative years were marked by introspection and defiance, yet they also laid the foundation for Franklin's eventual transformation. The experiences and lessons from this period, particularly the consequences of his choices, taught him resilience and shaped his approach to faith and ministry. Looking back, Franklin acknowledges that this phase was necessary in helping him define who he was and understand the role that faith would eventually play in his life. A unique blend of evangelism and humanitarianism. While Franklin Graham ultimately embraced the ministry, he took a different approach than his father by integrating humanitarian efforts with his evangelistic mission. Recognizing that people's physical needs were often just as pressing as their spiritual ones, Franklin pioneered a ministry model that combined preaching with concrete actions to alleviate suffering. Through Samaritan's Purse, Franklin led initiatives to meet urgent needs, from disaster relief to medical aid, embodying the idea that faith should be actionable. His approach transformed Samaritan's Purse from a small organization into a global humanitarian powerhouse. This unique blend of evangelism and humanitarianism allowed Franklin to connect with diverse communities, breaking down barriers and creating relationships that transcended cultural and religious divides. By addressing individual spiritual and physical needs, Franklin provided a holistic approach to ministry that impacted countless lives worldwide. Influence of Bob Pierce and a broader vision. Bob Pierce, the founder of World Vision and Samaritan's Purse, became one of Franklin's most incredible mentors, instilling in him the value of compassion-driven ministry. Pierce's dedication to serving others inspired Franklin to view humanitarian work as essential to his calling. Through Pierce's example, Franklin saw that helping others in tangible ways could be a powerful extension of evangelism. Under Pierce's mentorship, Franklin adopted a broader vision for his ministry, emphasizing practical aid alongside spiritual guidance. This dual focus allowed Samaritan's Purse to grow under Franklin's leadership, expanding its reach to support communities worldwide. Franklin's close relationship with Pierce was crucial in shaping his mission and guiding him to blend gospel messages with direct assistance. This model set a new standard for evangelical outreach and reflected Franklin's belief that faithful ministry lies in word and deed, creating a legacy emphasizing compassion and global awareness. A life-changing mission trip in 1973. In 1973, Franklin embarked on a mission trip that profoundly shifted his perspective on what it meant to serve. Encountering people facing extreme poverty and hardship left an indelible mark on him, reinforcing the importance of compassionate action. Seeing the realities of suffering firsthand, Franklin felt a renewed sense of purpose, realizing that ministry should extend beyond preaching to include meaningful, hands-on support for those in need. This experience catalyzed the growth of Samaritan's Purse, inspiring Franklin to develop programs that addressed physical and spiritual needs. Under his leadership, the organization expanded its reach to respond to crises worldwide, from natural disasters to healthcare shortages. This mission trip was more than just an eye-opening experience. It was a defining moment that guided Franklin to create an organization committed to holistic support. The impact of this trip shaped his life's work, showing him that faith could be a powerful force for change when combined with compassionate, direct action. Operation Christmas Child – Spreading Hope Worldwide. One of Franklin's most impactful projects, Operation Christmas Child, embodies his vision of combining faith with tangible acts of kindness. The initiative, which began in 1993, has grown into an annual tradition, sending millions of shoeboxes filled with gifts to children across the globe. Each shoebox symbolizes love and hope and is filled with toys, school supplies, and personal hygiene items for needy children. For many recipients, these boxes provide essential items and a sense of connection and care from faraway communities. Beyond the physical gifts, Operation Christmas Child introduces children to the message of the gospel, integrating faith into the experience of receiving. Franklin's initiative has brought joy and spiritual encouragement to countless children and families, uniting people worldwide in a shared mission of compassion. This project exemplifies Franklin's belief in the power of small gestures to make a big impact. It's become one of the most celebrated facets of his humanitarian work, inspiring communities worldwide to participate in spreading hope. Long-term community recovery and local partnerships. Franklin Graham's vision for humanitarian aid goes beyond immediate short-term assistance. He focuses on building long-term community resilience. Through Samaritan's Purse, he's developed partnerships with local churches, civic organizations, and community leaders to foster sustainable growth and recovery. Rather than simply offering temporary relief, his approach emphasizes training, resource allocation, and support structures that allow communities to eventually thrive independently. By collaborating with local entities, Franklin ensures that aid aligns with the specific needs and cultural contexts of the community served. These partnerships are crucial in regions affected by natural disasters, conflict, and economic hardship, providing rebuilding tools beyond the initial crisis. Programs such as infrastructure restoration, agricultural training, and medical outreach allow these areas to regain stability and resilience, providing rebuilding tools beyond the initial crisis. Programs such as infrastructure restoration, agricultural training, and medical outreach allow these areas to regain stability and resilience. This model of faith-driven aid empowers individuals to play active roles in their recovery, setting a foundation for long-lasting impact. Franklin's commitment to community recovery reflects his belief that true humanitarianism supports spiritual and practical well-being, creating self-sufficient communities that can withstand future challenges. Modernizing evangelism to reach broader audiences. To keep pace with shifting cultural landscape, Franklin Graham has introduced modernized evangelism strategies to connect with a wider and more diverse audience. Recognizing that traditional church outreach often struggles to resonate with contemporary audiences, he's leveraged new technologies to broaden the reach of his message. Through social media, online platforms, and streaming services, Franklin makes faith accessible to people who might not attend church or engage with religious content otherwise. His large-scale evangelistic festivals, broadcast online and attended by thousands in person, use live music, multimedia presentations, and testimonials to create an inclusive, welcoming atmosphere. Franklin has managed to keep his ministry relevant and highly impactful by adapting his approach to incorporate modern communication channels. This modernization has allowed him to bridge generational divides, drawing in younger audiences while honoring his father's traditional roots. Franklin's innovative outreach reflects his understanding that evangelism must evolve to stay connected to people from all walks of life, fostering a global community united by faith. Connecting with younger generations through digital outreach. In a world driven by digital media, Franklin Graham is focused on reaching younger generations by embracing online platforms and engaging content formulas. Understanding that younger audiences often turn to social media for information and community, he's cultivated a strong online presence across platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where he shares messages of faith, hope, and compassion. Through live-streamed sermons, daily inspirational posts, and interactive Q&A sessions, Franklin creates a virtual environment for spiritual engagement, reaching audiences who may not have access to or interest in traditional church settings. This approach has allowed him to connect with tech-savvy individuals who appreciate the convenience and accessibility of digital content. By speaking directly to the issues and challenging younger generations' faith, he creates a space where they feel understood and supported in their faith journey. Franklin's digital outreach reflects a savvy understanding of the power of the online community, ensuring that his ministry continues to inspire and guide future generations in a format they can relate to. Controversial views and divisive impact on evangelicals. Franklin Graham has become a polarizing figure within the evangelical community due to his strong opinions on social and political issues. Known for his conservative views on topics such as traditional marriage, abortion, and immigration, Franklin's outspoken stance has earned him both ardent supporters and vocal critics. While some evangelicals admire his unwavering commitment to his beliefs, others feel his approach diverges from his father's inclusive legacy. Billy Graham was known to avoid political entanglements and focus on unity. At the same time, Franklin's approach has been more direct and divisive, leading to debates over the role of religious leaders in political matters. His positions have sometimes created rifts among evangelicals, with some feeling alienated by his emphasis on conservative policies. This divide has raised questions about whether religious figures should involve themselves in such contentious issues and whether these stances overshadow the broader, inclusive message of the gospel. Franklin's controversial views have undoubtedly left an impact, highlighting the complexity of balancing faith with modern societal challenges. Differing approach from Billy Graham's inclusive legacy. Franklin Graham's ministry approach differs significantly from the inclusive, apolitical stance his father, Billy Graham, was known for. Billy's ministry focused on unity, attracting people from all backgrounds and political affiliations by concentrating on the core message of hope and redemption. He famously avoided political entanglements to ensure his evangelical mission remained universally accessible. In contrast, Franklin's ministry has been marked by vocal involvement in political and social issues, leading to praise and criticism. This shift in approach reflects Franklin's convictions and willingness to address divisive topics, even if it risks alienating some audience members. The contrast between Franklin's politically infused ministry and Billy's nonpartisan focus has sparked debate within the Graham family and the larger evangelical community. Franklin's approach has led to a reassessment of the balance between religious conviction and activism, and the evolving legacy of the Graham name reflects the dynamic nature of faith in an increasingly complex world. Navigating family tensions after Billy Graham's passing. Billy Graham's passing marked an emotional period for Franklin Graham, who was not only a father but also a spiritual guide and mentor. With his father's death came the expectation that Franklin would carry Billy's legacy, a daunting task that intensified family and public scrutiny. The challenge of honoring his father's inclusive approach while maintaining his own, often politically charged perspective has led to tensions within the Graham family. Some family members are more inclined toward Billy's unifying message, while Franklin's outspoken views on social issues depart from that tradition. The difference in approach has sometimes highlighted contrasting visions of how best to preserve and evolve the Graham family's legacy in today's world. For Franklin, balancing family expectations, public perception, and his convictions has become a defining element of his leadership. His journey to navigate these familial and spiritual expectations demonstrates the complexity of maintaining a legacy while adapting it to the modern age. Impact on evangelical leadership and succession questions. Franklin Graham's decision to step back from his leadership role has created uncertainty and speculation about the future of his ministry and the broader evangelical community. His unique blend of evangelism and humanitarian work has set a high standard, and his potential departure has led many to wonder who will continue his impactful mission. Samaritan's Purse, the organization Franklin has championed for years, now faces questions of succession, with leaders contemplating the next steps for the organization's vision and objectives. His work has established a model of faith-based service that future leaders will be expected to uphold, blending compassion, faith, and tangible support for those in need. As evangelicals ponder the implications of Franklin's reduced role, discussions about succession planning and the future direction of the ministry are becoming more prominent. While no official successor has been named, Franklin's legacy of impactful outreach will influence any future leaders, setting a solid foundation for the movement's continuation. Franklin Graham's lasting legacy of influence. Though Franklin Graham may be preparing to step back, his influence and legacy within the evangelical and humanitarian communities will continue to resonate. His work through Samaritan's Purse has set an example for faith-based humanitarianism, emphasizing the importance of spiritual guidance and practical support for those in need. Franklin's unique approach, which bridges traditional evangelism with modern outreach strategies, has broadened the reach of his message, touching lives across the globe. As he leaves behind an organization built on compassion, resilience, and faith, future leaders will have a foundation to build. His legacy extends beyond evangelism alone, inspiring countless individuals to serve others and live out their faith meaningfully. Franklin's life and work remind others of the transformative power of faith in action, setting a standard for service-driven ministry. While his departure may signal the end of an era, the principles he championed will continue to guide and inspire the next generation of evangelical and humanitarian leaders.